Welcome everybody to episode 9 of 4NZGamers. I'm your host Phil Brooks. I'm joined today by James Jennings,
hey.
Dave Watson,
hey.
James Brooks,
hey.
and our special guest Lance Lochner.
Oh, yeah.
So now we're going to be talking about the Square conference and the Nintendo conference. So some surprises in there. Let's maybe begin with Nintendo. So what did we think of the Nintendo conference?
Lance? James?
Lance?
Me? Oh, well, what did I think of it? Well, what did I think of it? Well, yeah.
They just look too colourful to me.
Too colourful?
Yeah, there's just too many colours. And there's just too many things with Mario in it.
Mario's all over the place.
Mario Tennis.
When you least expect him,
Mario Golf.
he's going to pop up.
Mario Anal Exam.
Just going to pop up with his glove on.
Have I missed something?
So Nintendo. What was it?
It was good. Well, it had its good... Actually, I didn't like it at all, really. Mainly because there was nothing there I didn't already know of, to be honest.
Yeah.
The two things that I'm kind of interested in are Star Fox and the Mario Maker, and I already knew about those two things. And so all they did was just tell us when they were going to be released, which was nice.
And Star Fox didn't look particularly impressive, to be honest.
No, but it's been in development since the Wii, and so it's not going to be...
Well, so's Fallout.
Yes. But, of course, the Wii U is not a huge step ahead like the PS4 is, unfortunately, or the Xbox. So,
Yeah.
But it looks fun. I'll still get it. I enjoy those types of games. Obviously, you guys don't. But I love those...
No, well, isn't that the thing with Nintendo? They're still on the Wii.
Mm.
And they haven't progressed to the big guns with the rest of them. Hopefully one day they will, because they've got some really awesome titles in the past.
Mm.
I think it's very kiddish at the moment, you know, with the Wii and playing with paddles and tennis games, and
Yeah.
it's a market for the family oriented.
It's very family oriented.
And for the kids.
Yeah.
Obviously it still applies. It's quite out there.
But otherwise they'd be competing against Sony and Microsoft, which is a whole other kettle of fish.
Well, yeah.
So
obviously
they've picked
got to
their
come.
market, and then
I think the core experiences that they do make for their gamers though are very good. Like, you know, their Donkey Kongs, their Zeldas, their Mario games. You know, the Mario platform games are very good.
Yeah.
But everything else, you know, like all the spin-offs that I saw with, you know, they had a Metroid game there, which is like a multiplayer blitzball type game where they go around shooting, and it's like 4-on-4. And then they had like a Zelda Triforce where you had like 3 multiplayer guys linking up and taking on dungeons and stuff. It's all just using the same big guys, big characters, but just making them into these little, you know, kind of minor versions of the bigger games.
Yeah.
And that's what I get annoyed with. It's like, it's just the same thing.
Over and over.
Over and over, basically.
Yeah. We talk about hating annualization, especially like things like Assassin's Creed and whatnot. For me, I feel that with Nintendo. That's why we were laughing in a lot of ways, is because James is a Nintendo fanboy for all intents and purposes, and I just don't get it. I've never really dug Nintendo, and one of the main reasons is because Mario, year after year after year, is just driving me insane. I want them to do something else, and I have Mario fatigue. And I don't care if every Mario game is different, if it's Mario Racing or Mario Tennis or Super Mario Brothers or whatever. I'm just, make that game without Mario. I'm over him.
Mm. But everything is sold, everything is made by Nintendo. They don't have third-party support. So when they make their games, they make a Nintendo game. They use all the Nintendo characters because that's what sells Nintendo, is their characters.
Mm.
It's not like Microsoft or PlayStation, where you've just got a huge variety of things, really.
Well, PlayStation and Microsoft couldn't do Amiibos because they wouldn't be successful, because it relies on that character.
Yeah.
The fans of characters, you know, people buy it because it's a little Mario figurine.
Yeah. So yeah, I was very underwhelmed with the whole thing. A bit disappointed. I'm still excited for the games. Like, I'm looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm looking forward to Star Fox. It looks really cool. I'm looking forward to Legend of Zelda when it finally comes out, but that won't be till next year.
No,
that wasn't shown.
And they
was
didn't
it?
show it.
How did you feel about that? They released
they-
a little article afterwards about why. But...
Yeah, they'd made it clear beforehand that they weren't going to show anything.
Oh, okay.
But I think the other thing that concerns me is is that they've got another console coming next year, the NX that they've hinted at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so which worries me because I'm enjoying the Wii U and I actually want to see some more games for it. So if they announce another console next year, we haven't been that long into this life cycle.
You only just got your Wii U.
Yeah, and I still want to see some more games. So what I'm hoping is whatever it is that it's very similar to the Wii U, or at least the games are going to come out on both. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, I don't want to get another console this soon. Like, I just bought this damn thing, Like, it's kind of...
It's been out for a while, though, hasn't it?
A couple of years, but it's only the games have only really just started coming out.
Well, because that's how long it usually takes. A couple of years into a console cycle, the good games start coming.
Yeah, it's feeling like it's getting into its
stride.
Rhythm. Yeah,
that's weird that.
But I just don't want it to peak now. That's what's annoying me.
Well, it hasn't had very good sales.
You imagine buying the PS4 like you've just done last year, and then suddenly someone saying the PS5's coming out next year, and suddenly, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, you'd be a bit annoyed
because it would make no sense.
That's why I stick with PC.
All right, so nothing more to say about Nintendo. You weren't excited about Animal Crossing, Happy Home Designer, or Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival?
Yeah, all the best games come out, didn't you?
Yeah. So, then there was the Square Conference. At the Square Conference, we had some pretty good announcements, to be honest. They've got some good games coming out, and this year as well. There's Just Cause 3, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then games on the future horizon. We've got Star Ocean, Final Fantasy 7, Kingdom Hearts 3, Hitman, and Deus Ex.
A lot of sequels.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, some of them are pretty good though.
I mean, Square would not be able to have a conference on their own based on new IPs because no one would know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the sequels that sells it.
Square.
All really, really good franchises, though.
They are.
yeah.
Just Cause 3 is probably the most underrated of those great franchises because all of those are good.
In fact, if you look at all of those games, you could quite easily get all of those games and be quite happy for a year.
Totally.
I was just going to say, they're very strong as a developer in the conference.
Like, I talked back to Ubisoft before, one game I was probably interested in. Square, I could play all of those quite happily.
Yeah, totally. Just Cause 3 looks amazing. Graphically, it looks so freaking good and just looks chaotic. It looks like Grand Theft Auto. But you know how Grand Theft Auto, even though Grand Theft Auto is fun and crazy and has certain crazy elements in it, Just Cause 3 just takes it to a whole new level. You can tether like helicopters to the ground so that
or together.
So it's more over the top though. It's more about having that flexibility to defy gravity.
Yeah, it's like giving you that sandbox that GTA gives you, but then saying, but we're not going to restrict you to realism or realistic sort of physics within this world. We're going to say, no, throw a line to that and pull yourself toward it like some sort of god, and then use your parachute and use your wingsuit and just fly around and do whatever you want, and basically allow you to have fun in that environment. And in fact, the sorts of things that people mod GTA 5 with are the sorts of things Just Cause 3 innately have.
Yeah, it is a fun game. It looks like they've improved on a lot of the things from the second one as well, like just the control of being able to shoot while parachuting and things like that, and even like how many of those tether things you can shoot now. It's quite cool.
It's quite crazy. Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I've played all of them.
Yeah, it's not my thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like because sometimes a big open world game like that can be daunting, right? Like The Witcher, we've spoken about how daunting it is. A game like Just Cause 3, there's nothing daunting about it because it's just so fun and chaotic. That's the sort of game you pick up and just play for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, and you don't care. Like,
until you're bored,
it's not about the story. It's just about having fun, and that's why I like having that sort of game in my collection for the moments when I just want to do that.
Yeah, it literally is just for mucking around.
Yeah.
Deus Ex looks damn awesome, man. If you could get excited for Fallout 4, Deus Ex is down there just underneath it, but it's still I get quite excited for that. I enjoyed the last one.
Did they show gameplay?
I saw a bit of it. Yeah. The graphics actually look like a bit of a step up. I don't know if it was just how they did it, but they were showing some shooting in a like a food sort of market area, and there was just all this food just going flying up in the air and all this debris and stuff, and it looked really good. I was like, wow, for a game, especially, because every time I've played, I've always played the stealth option, and I don't usually do that kind of shooting stuff, but it looked really good. It looked like a really good option to take, actually, was to go the first person route.
And they said they were going to service that play style better, because in the other game, Human Revolution,
it was heavily stealth.
Well, there was a lot of stealth right up into a boss battle where you suddenly had to use full-on frontal assault that you hadn't even been putting any perks into or anything, and you're like, I don't even, like, when I did the first boss battle, I had never even fired a gun, and suddenly I'm like, I don't know how to use the gun in this game, and what? So yeah, it looks like they're servicing that playstyle a lot more in this iteration of the franchise. And it looks really good. Yeah, and I love it. You haven't even played them, have you? None of them. Dude, it's like,
you don't have to though. I didn't even finish 1 or 2, but I completed part 3, and you could easily just walk into that.
But it's a really good series. Like it's not many games make it to part 4, I guess.
It's another one of those ones where it's an interesting world. It's,
totally.
Yeah, it's futuristic, and it's a world where
it's unique enough to be cool.
Yeah, like it could be a movie. They've got these people
like
that are augmented with robotic parts, and then there's the humans that don't have any implants or anything, and they're basically against each other. It's like, you're unnatural, you're this, blah blah blah.
I know the story. It seems like a very political game as well.
Yes,
in terms of its time. The game looks great as well, and I know that it has the the kind of the choice whether you want to play stealth, guns blazing and stuff, which seems pretty cool. It just hasn't pulled me in. Maybe if I'd given it a go.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to Dishonored in a lot of ways, where Deus Ex would be more the scientific sort of technical route of stealth and extra, whereas Dishonored would be stealth and more magical, mystical era, but very similar in terms of what they're still doing.
Yeah, very similar.
And I'd recommend both of those games. Very much.
Are they going to have like a definitive edition for those as well?
Director's cut.
There is the director's cut. They changed the boss battles so you could do them in the stealthy way. Which is a bit of fan service.
I'll give it a go.
So other games that got announced: Star Ocean. Has anyone played the Star Ocean series? It's like a real. It's a JRPG.
No. Just like any other JRPG.
I don't touch JRPGs. No.
I got the first one that was released on 360, and I took it back within an hour and got my money back. I just couldn't play it.
Yeah, very very derivative.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm not interested by the series. Move on?
Yeah.
Alright, moving on. Hitman!
Any fans?
I am. Man, I've played all the Hitmen.
Yeah, I've tried getting into it. It just doesn't hold me long enough.
I just love stealth games.
I get bored.
No, not my cup of tea.
And it's different. I like that because I love being able to do things in real time and open world sort of environments like Splinter Cell does and like what Metal Gear's doing now. But what I enjoy the simplicity of Hitman. It feels kind of like what I was saying about Just Cause, how you can just pick it up and play because it's very level based. Just chucks you in like a tiny little arena where there's all these different things that are happening, and they're able to really focus on all the different things that can happen because it's such a confined space. And then they say, go and find your best way to do it. Go get your S ranking. I love that shit.
Yeah, my experience with Hitman though was you would go to a stage, and it was just about how many times you could fail before you could do it perfectly.
Rinse, wash, repeat.
Yeah, it was kind of like, okay, I managed to kill that first guy fine, and then I have to find the second guy, and it was just fail until you got it in your mind where people were going to be. So it was like the time that you actually completed the level was when you were the badass. At first it was just
it's all about learning
screwing it up.
Level.
Yeah, finding out when people were going to come. Because I remember once you had learned a level, I remember being able to okay, I put the poison in there, get to kill this guy there, and then by the time I'm killing like the fourth person, the other two are dying at the same time, or
you just become so perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all meta game because you have to know how it works in order to do it.
Exactly. I don't really enjoy. Like, it was satisfying to pull it off, but I didn't enjoy the journey to do that. Okay, guys, you come around here. Oh, he's not there this time. Oh, and then I get killed, or they change it somehow. I do like games that you have to adjust to on the fly.
Yeah.
But that's just my experience. I don't know if they'll change with this game, and it's cool that they're they're bringing Agent 47 back, and
hopefully they don't change it though, because it is what makes the game different from other stealth games out there. And if they make it like every other stealth game, then they're going to be competing with every other stealth game. And quite frankly, I don't think Hitman is good enough to compete with the likes of Metal Gear and the likes of Splinter Cell, and even Dishonored and Deus Ex, which are also stealth games.
My idea of Hitman though is he's a professional hitman. You get a lot of these stealth games where you come up and knife somebody in the throat, but when I think of Agent 47 and Hitman, I think of putting a sniper rifle together, finding a person, and then you put the gun in the bin. Yeah, he's like walk off. the quintessential assassin that we would know from movies. Yeah, which I think is fans of that kind of genre style would be very happy with. With Hitman.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hitman Absolution was one of the funnest games I played in the last generation console. Easily, like it would be probably in my top 10 games.
Funnest?
Wow. Yeah, I loved that that game. So, yep, bring it on. Other games they announced: Kingdom Hearts 3.
Look, I've lost interest because I've grown up.
Yeah.
So I did play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I do kind of have a soft spot for them, but I just feel like
you just moved on.
I moved on, not because I'm bored of it. I just does feel like a kiddie's game.
Not your bag anymore. I mean, I've always been a fan of Disney stuff. Yeah. And I still do. Like I can sit down and watch any Disney film now and enjoy it like I did when I was a kid.
They're a lot of fun. It would be I feel it's very kids Disney Kingdom Hearts, where it would be really cool if they had excuse you, the Kingdom Hearts characters, and then because Disney's been bought out, they've bought out Marvel and Star Wars. It'd be interesting to see those characters in there. They probably won't.
No.
And
that'd probably be the only way to pull me in.
So yeah, I would be pulled out by that.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, nah, leave Star Wars for your Battlefronts and leave Marvel for the movies.
But the whole idea is that it's going into all these different worlds, and even though there are the Disney
worlds
cartoons,
they're so diverse enough as they are. You know, I'm keen enough to go back to like the Tarzan world and the Hercules world and the Sleeping Beauty world and all the different worlds from our beloved animated favourites. You know, from the yesteryear. That's where I want to go. Even back into classics
Bambi
like
world.
Mickey and Bambi, like totally Fox and the Hound, whatever. Like
Frozen.
Apart from Frozen. That would be the only place I don't.
Frozen.
Of course, they'll have
Tangled.
To. Tangled has been announced that they're going to the Tangled world. Frozen is, I know. So this is where you say it gets kiddie, and I agree with it in this sense. I'm like, and maybe that's because I'm a lot older now. Like I've got connections to Aladdin and Lion King, but not so much the connection to Frozen and Tangled. But I like that they do it. I like that it's on offer. It may not be for us.
The original Kingdom Hearts though, what pulled me in, even though it was Disney, the Disney characters in it, what actually pulled me in more is that they had the Final Fantasy characters in it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Squall from Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So they had Squall, Ares, Aerith, depending on where you are, Cloud and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool that they had those. I haven't seen anyone in the Final Fantasy series being
showcased. With Kingdom Hearts 3. No, neither have I.
Because they were a big pivotal part in.
I think at the time it might have been a little bit of fan service. Like maybe they weren't sure whether or not Disney was going to sell this game, so they also tried to throw in some iconic Square Enix characters, or Squaresoft at the time, I guess. Throw those characters in there to help sell the game. You know, because some people might be like, I'm playing as Goofy, but you know, image of Squall or Cloud, and suddenly it's like, oh, I can have that option. Also at Square was Final Fantasy VII, which we'll end up talking about in the Sony conference because it was also there. Actually, so was Hitman. And Rise of the Tomb Raider, which we'll no doubt talk about for our debrief of the Microsoft conference. So shall we just move on?
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. That was our coverage of Square and Nintendo. So we're going to come back for a breakdown of the EA conference, Microsoft, and a breakdown of Sony. So please join us for that.